Well, we're now going to continue our discussion on the press freedom in Africa. Joining us in the studio is Manqoba Nxumalo, a journalist from Swaziland. He's also an activist on issues of human rights and media freedom. Mr. Nxumalo, welcome to In Focus.
Thank you. Well,
now, first, you do come from a country that has the distinction of having the last, only surviving absolute monarchy. How do the Swazi take this? How are they feeling about the monarchy?
Yeah, no, the truth is that over a very, very long period of time, the monarchy has been able to consolidate its power, its influence, its hegemony over the people, also because the whole history of the country is laden with monarchies aligned to the current one. So basically, given its history, it has got a lot of influence. It's revered in some structures, and it can only be argued recently that there has been sentiments that seem to suggest that perhaps it's about time that we do away with the monarchy.
Yeah, indeed, we've been witnessing demonstrations on the streets of the capital, Mbabane. What are the citizens complaining about?
Well, the people of Swaziland are calling for basic forms of democracy. They want to be able to choose their own government. They want to be able to have basic freedom of association, of speech, of assemble. That's what they're calling for. And they also want, importantly, to be able to choose their own government, with the institution of the monarch only playing a role of being a constitutional monarchy.
Mm-hmm. Now, not long ago, when King Mswati caught one of his wives having an affair with his own Minister of Justice, one thing he did is he banned the media from covering the story. Yes, what can you tell us about freedom of press in Swaziland?
Yeah, now I'll start with the story that I wrote actually for the Times of Swaziland the days after that event. Is that a man who had initially got a paper because the South African papers wrote extensively about the story. So one of the youth activists managed to get the paper of that story. And when he was going with it around town, he was held up by police officers. He was charged for being in possession of a paper that was putting the royal family in bad light. So now you get to appreciate, if you look at that, the extent to which the repression and the curtailing of media freedom is in Swaziland. And we were not allowed to report that. Actually, none of the media houses reported about that story at all. Yet it was all over the world and everyone was talking about it. Only, of course, social media, Facebook, that's only when that it was discussed extensively.
Now, how strong is the opposition and perhaps the civil society, and to what extent is the king paying attention to this push, these demands that are being made?
Well, I think over a very long period of time is that the opposition, civil society, and mainly labor have been the ones that have been pushing for change. And their influence and the extent to which they are being felt by the majority of people was a contested issue altogether. But I think recently we've seen a new form of resistance from the people, the reorganization of the political parties. But of course, in 2008, they were banned. The main opposition, Podemo, it was termed as a terrorist organization. So since then, there's been more of labor, students, and generally the youth that have been pushing for change in the overt, with only the banned party playing the covert role. As for the king taking attention or seemingly getting to listen to what these people are saying, I would argue no. I don't think the king is listening. I don't think that he's reading the mood.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you very much for giving us those insights from Swaziland. That's Manqoba Nxumalo. I want to thank him very much for joining us today on In Focus.